As the atom grows larger, the number of protons increase.
More and more artists are being asked to evaluate their teaching, assess what's happening in terms of teaching and learning.
Quantifying the learning process for teaching artists is a topic that raises much debate.
Zooming in and out, you have to commit to a zoom.
How do I build assessment strategies into the artistic process? And the fact is that artists are they're already often assessing. They may not call it that, but it's an integral part of the creative process.
If artists can't talk about assessment in some way, then they're less likely to be hired by schools, especially in this climate of No Child Left Behind.
We are expected to assess students using paper and pencil type of test. However, really, if we continue to build this process, one of the things that is really strong about it is that the teachers start seeing students and evaluating students in different ways.
The bass sounds like this.
NECAP is working with teaching artists to explore the value of assessing and documenting learning.
Some of them think just because the kids are smiling and happy at the end that they've done an effective job. And they may very well have done an effective job, but there's no evidence of that effectiveness.
And I think it's important as a teaching artist to really ask the teacher what it is that they really want the kids to get out of the learning process.
So I think it should be just something that is not maybe, a one-shot deal, but continuous, so that the teacher, is enlightened, but can continue to use these strategies.
If you know anything about a character, that would be helpful for the actors.
The whole challenge of assessment in teaching artists is a really important issue, and I think we're still learning about it. And I think those artists who grab onto it and understand that it's just a way to know whether you've been successful as a teaching artist. What is it that I've been trying to teach, and is it happening?
How do we evaluate, document, and assess our work? Yes, this was great, it was fun, but how do we record this as learning?
Hello! Hello!
And we can really focus and say, I want to teach the kids to be able to go back into text and find an answer, and you use the arts to do that. It clicks for the kids.
You'd think after a few years of doing this you could kind of predict it, and that's one of the things that's hard about evaluating it or putting numbers on it. You never know quite when the lightning's going to strike, but when it does, it's amazing, and you recognize it enough from very different people from very different places that you know there's something going on here.
The irony here is that the teaching artists actually do most of what they need to do. They just don't know how to name it.
Da, da, da. And here's the whole thing. Da, 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 da.
Teachers will be able to see the student learning through different lenses. Not so much whether the child can do this particular outcome, but whether they're moving forward, whether they're really getting it.
One of the things I really emphasize with teaching artists is it is a profession. It's a calling, it's a profession. And any professional is always engaged in a constant reflection on the work that they do. And I think it's critical that that be built into teaching artist practice.